All the votes have been tallied, all the envelopes have been opened, and yeah, it's over. It's what was going to happen. What did anybody expect to happen? Okay, you had those kooks out there on both sides thinking that, oh, Trump was going to become king of America and he'd never leave. And then on the other side of the aisle, it was going to be, oh, we're going to imprison Pence and we're going to have Pompeo get up there and he's going to save the republic. None of that happened. In the dead of night, the votes were cast. 2 states ended up getting objected to. It's just as sad and pathetic as we kind of figured. At the end of the day, it's always easier to commit the crime than it is to prove the crime that happened. And that's about all I can say. I'll get into more of that when we get into the second video and then into the third video here today, because everything's just going to kind of revolve around this because it's the most important news of at least the day, if not for the next 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Who knows? But yeah, this one we're just going to be looking at the result, statements, and the aftermath. Second video, we're going to go into the censorship. Well, the start of the censorship, at least what we have right now, and it's not a non-extensive list, and then where we go from there. That'll be the third video, so everything's already planned out, and I don't think anything's going to pop out that would really throw that schedule off kilter, so anyways, let's get into this. Congress certifies electoral votes, making Joe Biden president-elect. Yep, it's official. He's legitimately the president-elect right now. Okay, woo! Joe Biden, 46. Kamala Harris, 47. Woo! Vice President Mike Pence concluded the joint session of Congress certifying the electoral votes for president-elect Joe Biden and, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris for the 2020 election. Pence resumed the joint session of Congress to certify the votes early Thursday morning around 3:30 in the morning. Nothing schemy about that. After Trump supporters stormed the Capitol Hill and delayed the proceedings for about 6 hours. Yeah, right as I was either recording my last video of the day or editing it up, yeah, the Congress was hopping in there and they were picking up where they left off, and yeah. As you'll see here, the ceremonial certification also delayed after the House Republican and Senate Republicans issuing formal objections to the electoral votes cast in Arizona, and it says Wisconsin here, but it's Pennsylvania, prompting further debate and congressional vote on the objection. As you can see, there's quite a few states that are missing there, but everybody just kind of lost their gumption after that happened. I don't want to get into it. I don't have any proof of it right now, and there is speculation running wild, and you know what, this just all seems too perfect to me, and I can't back it up with anything, so please do take this with a grain of salt. Like I said yesterday, I think that the overwhelming majority of the people that were there were Trump supporters. I think we could all figure that out based on the numbers that were there, and the agent provocateurs, the guys there to incite the violence, at best would have made up at about 5% of the entire crowd. I think that might even be generous, but that'd be definitely the top end. But the people who were dressed in helmets and backpacks, I think that's just a regular hallmark of Antifa Black Lives Matter rioters. I've seen enough pictures of those. I've seen enough videos from them to just do a double take. And I know that there's a bunch of people out there saying right now that, oh, you know, the big Buffalo guy, that's the scapegoat right now. Yeah, he's been spotted at Black Lives Matter rallies, Antifa rallies, if you can call them Antifa rallies. And then at the same time, he's also been there at pro-Trump rallies. He's just kind of a fucking nutcase who paints his face and wears a fucking buffalo helmet. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Okay, but to call everything that happened yesterday at the Capitol building an extreme show of violence, and you're seeing all that from all of these smooth-brain retards who think that they can hand wave all of this violence away and all of the Trump supporters will just magically disappear and everything can go back to normal after this. You are out of your fucking skulls. Okay, the people who are decrying all the violence. Okay, a window was smashed. A woman was shot by the police. I also seen a report of 3 other people are dead as a result of this, and we don't know any of the circumstances, or at least it's not obvious right now how they died. But a woman was shot by police, and if you think for a moment, and as it's right here, so we'll just diverge on this for a second, how the incoming president is already branding these people. That's just why I think it seems way too goddamn perfect for them to smear Trump on the way out in order to just salt the earth for his final 2 weeks, and it's gonna be eventful, but not good eventful, okay? This isn't like, oh boy, I get to make a bunch of videos and not take a stance on anything and just continue to tell you that violence is a bad thing, or that you should just let the process play out because there's a plan in place, or there's, oh, you know what, we'll just vote them all out in 2 years, in 4 years time. No, I'm not that type of grifter, okay? Like I said yesterday, I don't know what the hell is going on. I still don't know what the hell is going on. I've listened to a bunch of people from all different walks and all different political perspectives, and they're all calling for unity and peace, and that violence is never the answer. There just wasn't any tangible violence. There's no way to compare any night of those Black Lives Matter Antifa riots over the summer to what happened to the Capitol yesterday. Some people, a few dozen people, walked into the Capitol and had a photo op. Somebody tried to take the speaker's podium. Okay, the only thing that I seen that was violent was papers knocked off one office desk. Was anybody injured? Was anything meaningfully destroyed? One window, and some snow fence was knocked over. And we've seen the video that the Capitol Police, I don't know where this happened or where it took place, but they were moving barricades out of the way and supporters were just making their way towards whatever they were making their way towards. I don't know what that means. I don't know exactly where that leads. But saying that the people that stormed the Capitol are just as bad as the rioters that were burning down stores, looting businesses, is just a false equivalency that I can't buy into. I stand by what I said yesterday when I said that this lies at the feet of the media, of big tech, and the courts. All three of them are complicit in this. You can throw in Congress too if you'd like, because they did nothing. There was a group of 6 senators who did do something, and a group of 60 House members who did do something. I just don't know what their political futures look like, because as violent as it's getting right now, and as inflammatory as the rhetoric is getting right now, I don't know if they're legitimately going to be allowed to be at the Capitol anymore, because as we're seeing here right now, anybody who's associated with Trump is right now being marked with the scarlet letter, and you're just getting put into a line. And if you don't think that your voice is going to get silenced in the near future, you're just not seeing the toll booth operator up at the front yet. But don't worry, you'll make that turn very shortly. But yeah, here's what we're in for the next 4 years. Because even if Biden doesn't make it through the term, I hope he does, okay? Because as you can tell in every previous video, whenever I've documented a president, okay, I've always distinguished them by their highest office terminology. Okay, I said President Barack Obama. I've always said President Donald Trump, and I'll say President Joe Biden. I'm not going to say that he won the election, but I'm going to say that he's the president. Take it or leave it. That's as best as you're going to get. President-elect Joe Biden excoriated President Donald Trump's supporters who stormed Capitol Hill as domestic terrorists on Thursday. Hilarious. What was the worst that he called those Black Lives Matter rioters? Peaceful protesters. They weren't protesters. Don't dare call them protesters. They were a riotous mob, insurrectionists, domestic terrorists, Biden said sternly in a speech Thursday. The president-elect angrily excoriated Trump and his supporters for enabling the violence in the Capitol during an event in Wilmington, Delaware. He wasn't even at Congress. Oh my God, this guy's just going to be governing from a closet to introduce his nominations for the Justice Department. Oh, the lack of the Social Justice Department. Let's call him that, okay? I wish we could say we couldn't see it coming, but it isn't true. For the past 4 years, we've had a president who made his contempt for our democracy, our Constitution, the rule of law, and everything he has done. Biden defined Wednesday's riots on Capitol Hill as one of the darkest days in American history, describing it as an assault literally on the citadel of liberty. Oh, I shan't get this mad going forward. I can't. Yeah, he said that his granddaughter, Finnegan, who gives a shit, sent a photo of military soldiers from the summer protests set up to the guard in the Lincoln Memorial from Black Lives Matter protesters and pointed the disparity in law enforcement response. Yeah, that's because Muriel Bowser told the police department in Washington, D.C. to stand down beforehand, and then Mike Pence called in the National Guard to deal with the rioters that were at the Capitol building as well. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff that's unsubstantiated right now. That's why I can't bring up claims in regards to that right now, because it's all just kind of out in the ether, and all that information will be rolling in the next few weeks, but at the same time, that'll just be wiped clean from the internet, or at least off of Google sources. That's why I've changed over to DuckDuckGo recently in the past week or so. And yeah, within the next 2 days, I'm just going to be not using Twitter whatsoever. But we'll save that for the censorship one. This is all just going to run together, obviously. No one can tell me that if that had been a group of Black Lives Matter protesting yesterday, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. They wouldn't have been treated very, very differently than the mob of thugs that stormed the Capitol, he said disapprovingly. Yeah, you're right. The police wouldn't have shot and killed anybody. They would have been welcomed in with open arms. Biden seems to have a short memory, and I can't, totally put that at his feet. He is 78 cocksucking years old. And he's been dying a death of dementia for the past, 3, 4, 5 years? Wasn't that long ago where the Wisconsin Senate the Wisconsin Capitol building was completely taken over? It wasn't that long ago when Brett Kavanaugh was being confirmed and the Senate chambers were being overrun by people right at that very Capitol that you thought was being attacked by insurrectionists. But no, that gets memory holed away because those were the people that were on your side. And we get to pick the narrative going forward. Not me. Fuck. I just get to point out the hypocrisy that will just go, unreported, silenced, and suppressed. But no, Biden can yell from his bully pulpit, which has been confirmed now by Mike Pence. Those were some of the most despicable human beings on earth, and the cops would have treated those Black Lives Matter rioters any differently. We've seen what the police officers do to Antifa and BLM rioters, okay? I can tell you, they do nothing. Absolutely nothing to them. They let them run roughshod over Portland for over 100 days. They let Minnesota targets get burnt down. They let murder rates skyrocket in New York City. Yeah, it would be 10 times different than what went down at the Capitol building yesterday. It's just not how you're trying to present it. But welcome back to Obama circa 2009, where everything he said is fucking gold and nobody can say anything in opposition to that. But yeah, here's the rest of his retarded statement. Yesterday was but a culmination of that relenting attack in regards to what Trump has been doing to the media for oh so long. Biden revisited 4 years of frustration with President Trump for challenging the government's intelligence services, media organization, and gassing peaceful protesters in Lafayette Square, and again falsely claimed that the president held the Bible upside down for a photo op. Look at that entire paragraph. We all know that that is complete horseshit. The intelligence services that will no longer pursue anything that's going on with Hunter Biden's laptop, that won't be looking into this election. It'll just get memory holed as being the most secure election of all time. That's what Kirsten Sinema was saying when she was standing up there in the Senate's office when they were doing the debate on Arizona. And they will only refer to the intelligence agencies that tell them what they want to hear. Media organizations, please. That'll be another 45-minute long video. And gassing peaceful protesters. That never happened. It only happened when they turned riotous. And I'm surprised he didn't invoke very fine people or calling Mexicans rapists or whatever misrepresentation gets to run wild. President-elect also accused Trump of trying to stack the Supreme Court for the purpose of winning any electoral challenges in 2020 and attacking the Department of Justice. Unbelievable. Biden said that Trump was trying to use a mob to overturn the votes of 160 million Americans who voted for him. Obviously. Our democratic institutions are not relics of another age. Just you, Joe. They're what sets this nation apart, and they're guardrails of our democracy. And that's why we have no president that's a king, he said. Oh my God. This is just the beginning, kids. This is just the beginning. So you can see everybody on the Breitbart sidebar, and we got a bunch more articles to get to as well, so I'll try to speed this along instead of just breaking down every paragraph, because eventually my mind will break down. But yeah, Trump has issued a concession speech, I guess. I don't know if he's going to perform one live, because, well, based on what's happening today, the thing I reported on when it comes to Cory Bush as well, trying to push the Purge MAGA Republicans Act. I don't know what the fuck she wants to call it, but it'll be, for all intents and purposes, that's what it is. But here we go. Trump promises orderly transition after Biden certified as president-elect. President Donald Trump, early January 7th, promised there would be an orderly transition on January 20th while vowing to continue to fight to better America. Even though I totally disagree with the outcome of the election and the facts bear me out, nevertheless, there will be an orderly transition on January 20th. I have always said we would continue to fight to ensure that only legal votes were counted, Trump said in a statement, but he is now just become a man just yelling in an open field and nobody is willing to hear anything. I hear ya. A whole bunch of other people hear ya, but I don't know. I don't have a fucking goofy wig and a big black robe, so not much I can do about it. Well, this represents the end of the greatest first term in presidential history. You'll love to see it. It's only the beginning of our fight to make America great again. Congress certified Joe Biden as president-elect around 3:45 a.m. in the dead of night when all of these shenanigans were happening. So it's only appropriate for Joe Biden to be certified under the cloak of darkness. It's really poetic if you think about it. So I said we'd get into the aftermath of this one, the immediate aftermath. And like I said earlier, yeah, a woman's dead. Yeah, she was confirmed dead just as, I'm pretty sure, like I said, like I was recording right there at the end of the third video, it popped up that, yeah, she was dead, or yeah, she was shot dead by Capitol Police. And here's their justification for it. U.S. Capitol Police is investigating the killing of a woman who entered the U.S. Capitol building on January 6th during the joint session of Congress. These individuals actively attacked United States Capitol Police officers and other uniformed law enforcement officers with metal pipes, discharged chemical irritants. Is that the police officers that discharged those chemical irritants? Because there was somebody else who I was watching here last night after everything was done. I'd pull up the stream, but he deleted it as well. He was down there and yeah, said he got gassed a couple of times, and two different types. One that kind of seems like and I've heard this as well, and this is like some really old ass information as well, that some of those chemical irritants, the tear gas or whatever, kind of makes you feel like you've eaten a jalapeno, like you get the watery eyes and you get the scratchy throat from eating exceptionally hot stuff. And I'm pretty sure that some of those tear gases or those maces are made with those concentrated pepper particles. I guess that's the best way to put it. And then there's, yeah, the chemical one that's supposed to be a slight shutdown or slight contraction of your respiratory system. Kind of the pink gas, right? I think that's the pink gas. And to be fair, I also seen, but that was outside of the building, not where this shooting was taking place, by the way. Mace getting sprayed at Capitol Police officers as well. So to attribute all of the bad acts to this one lady is just the type of doublethink that we're going to have to deal with, I suppose. And took up other weapons against our officers. Yeah, they were determined to enter the Capitol building by causing great damage. Where's the great damage, pal? Just like there was so much violence that was there. As the mobs of protesters were forcing their way into the House chamber where members of Congress were sheltering in place, a sworn U.S. Capitol Police employee discharged their service weapon, striking an adult female in the neck and eventually killing her. The female was later identified as Ashli Babbit, a U.S. Air Force veteran. She was 35 years old. Medical assistance was given to Babbit before she was taken to hospital where she was pronounced dead. The U.S. Capitol Police employee who discharged their weapon was placed on administrative leave pending a joint investigation with the Metropolitan Police Department into the matter. Video footage showed a male firing his weapon and striking her. Yep. Well, at least there's one sort of fair treatment there happening to police officers, I guess, for shooting somebody. This one was far less justified because, yeah, she was, I don't know. Okay, if you want to be totally 100% on the level, they're charged with protecting the grounds. Could have had stand your ground take effect. And a former Air Force veteran is going to have more training than somebody else, but you wouldn't have known that at the time. But that's a fair interpretation of it. At the end of the day, she was unarmed and got shot in the neck. So do with that information what you will, because we won't get any kind of full investigation on it. We'll just one day either hear that this police officer, who we don't have a name of or anything, and I'm fine with that, whatever, do your investigation, come to a conclusion, but either he'll just be put back on the force without any notice, or it'll just be a one line there at the bottom where he was terminated. Oh, but it's a lot more important about what happened to their family members, and this is where we kind of diverge from the normal practice, okay? Because remember how Jacob Floyd's family and getting two people mixed up, George Floyd's family and Jacob Blake's family were all in the know as soon as it happened, and their cause du jour was just out there on display. But as you can see here, a family member of Babbit here, no one has contacted us. No official person has gotten back to us despite the many phone calls. Babbit's ex-husband, Timothy McEntee, stated that she was a wonderful woman with a big heart and a strong mind. I'm in a state of shock and feel absolutely terrible for her family. McEntee said she loved America with all her heart. It's truly a sad day. Yep. And that's where it's different, okay? This is the double standard. If it's not for the coverage for the media, and literally just, you guys want to do your own little homework, what CNN, MSNBC, NBC, ABC, pick your fucking network du jour, how they're reporting all of this is just insurrection, a coup attempt. Didn't have this exact same stuff when federal buildings were being nightly bombed in Portland, or police precincts being run over in Seattle and Minneapolis for nights on end. Yeah, that wasn't a coup attempt. That wasn't insurrection. Or when they actively took over a fucking park 3, 4, 5 times now at this point for a week at a time. No, but somebody walking in, well, a few dozen people, let's be fair, walked in for a photo op. That's insurrection. Those are secessionists. So yeah, they're taking this and running wild, brother. And this is exactly what you expect from Nancy Pelosi, okay? Do you expect anything less? Suggest impeachment if Pence or in the cabinet doesn't remove Trump with the 25th Amendment. Listen, he's going to be in there for 13 days, 12.5. I really think they might. I think that they're stupid enough to do it. Listen, you see everything that's going on right now, like I mentioned before, the Cory Bush attempt to purge the Republican Party of any sort of Trump supporters who claim that they would contest the vote. These are the people that have the power right now, and they aren't afraid to flex it. And that always happens on the left. You go back to any sort of leftist party throughout history, they always prosecute their enemies. What did Trump do at his rallies back in 2016, 2015? I'm gonna prosecute Hillary Clinton, and she better be thankful that I'm not in charge because she'd be in jail right now. Well, remember that great line from the second debate? But yeah, last time I checked, there ain't no orange pantsuit on that old bitch. No, she's just running wild right now, and I don't know, has she got a spot in the Biden cabinet yet? I'm sure that's coming. No, it was a fun slogan to run on, but these people are fucking mental. Fucking mental. That's all happening to one man right now. But that one man quickly becomes the 6 senators that objected to the vote at the end of the day. Then that becomes the 14 senators who claim that they were going to object to the vote because, hey, they already pledged their allegiance to Trump, and you've got the mark of orange on you. But whatever. Let's get through this. Pelosi suggests impeachment if Pence cabinet doesn't remove Trump with 25th Amendment. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on Thursday said Congress may move to impeach President Donald Trump if Vice President Mike Pence and the cabinet don't move to remove him. If the Vice President and the cabinet do not act, the Congress may be prepared to move forward with impeachment. Trump has just 13 days left to go in his first presidential term. President-elect Joe Biden is set to be inaugurated on the 20th. Pelosi said that she hoped Pence would move to remove Trump using the 25th Amendment today. It's simple matters. In terms of the Constitution, the Vice President working with the cabinet can immediately improve the security of the country, she said. Pence's office in the White House didn't return requests for comment. And you can see this is what they do at the same time whenever there's a school shooting. And I'm not trying to equate anything that has happened in the past 24 hours with a school shooting, but just bear with me at this. Whenever there's anything like that, what is their immediate call? Their immediate call, and if they have any sort of power, exactly what they moved to do in New Zealand, and they've done before in other places as well. Guns. Oh, we need to ban guns. We need sensible gun restriction. And that's another thing that conservatives have allowed to just go unchecked. And if you take a look at what Biden is proposing to do and what I've documented here as well, all online sales of gun accessories will be banned, and that's just where it begins. That's just where it begins, guys. But okay, this is just one house. Now, the Republicans control the Senate. Oh, wait. No, not anymore. Not anymore. Guess who's in charge of the Senate? Chuck Schumer calls on Pence to remove Trump from office. So, yep. He doesn't need it. They can expedite that through the House, and they can expedite it through the Senate now because, hey, they have all the votes. I'm not too sure if Warnock's been sworn in yet, but just wait for that to happen, and then I will bet that something will be coming down the pike. Schumer, the soon-to-be Senate Majority Leader, called the chaos that erupted Wednesday as insurrection. What happened in the U.S. Capitol was an insurrection against the United States incited by the president. The president should not hold office one day longer. The Senate Democrat leader said Pence and the president's cabinet should remove Trump from the office using the 25th Amendment. The quickest and most effective way it can be done today to remove the president from the office would be for the vice president to immediately invoke the 25th Amendment, Schumer said. If the vice president and the cabinet refuse to stand up, Congress should reconvene to impeach the president. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And it starts with that, okay? Turned in a blind eye to the fraud. Allowing a few idiots to break a window, go through the front doors, take a couple of pictures, put their feet up on the desks in Pelosi's office, and yeah, just allow these morons who never should have had power to have the power, and now they're going to flex it on everybody. Starts with Trump, ends with you and me, because you're just as culpable for listening to this as I am to produce it. So anyways, yeah, we got 2 more videos on this shit, and oh boy, it goes downhill from here, but there is probably a silver lining to this. It's just, we're right in the middle of it, and those bandwagon jumpers that were right there saying that, oh, Pence performed so wonderfully during the vice presidential debate. Oh, this would be exactly what the Trump presidency would be like without Twitter. Oh, yeah. I wasn't one of those. I was calling them out at the time, and yeah, all of those people, I have the list. I remember. Those are the people that can't be trusted going forward because they're the same types of people who are just saying, violence is awful, you shouldn't just do this. Yeah, just allow it to happen. Get fucked. I'm sure it'll be fucking back in Biden or Harris or whoever the fuck's in office there the next time in 2024. So this is how it starts. This is the beginning of Act 2. Okay? Act 1 ended with a bang. Act 2's beginning with a bang. We got to get ready for Act 3. Thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut. Get after it. Take care, everyone.